Dun, dun, dun. We have a pile here. You know what it means, although I don't do TBRs. Let's talk about one type of TBR that I do and I enjoy doing. This is going to be my priority translation books for the next few months. So hello friends, I'm Beatriz, your host here on Beatriz's Book Nook, and today, as you probably already seen, we are going to be talking about my TBR pile for translated works. I have been strangely collecting a few translated works from English mainly to Portuguese, and I'm quite excited to read them and I want to prioritize them. A lot of them are quite chunky books, but that's okay, we are fine. I love a chunky book to immerse myself in it, which I have been needing. I have at least one book that I'm not sure I have seen around on either BookTube or Book Talk, but I am excited for it. The cover is so beautiful. It's one of those covers that catches my eye and I have to get the book just for the cover. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I don't know how many, but I think it's either more than 5, but less than 10 or close to 10. So let's get into it. Let me talk about the books to you, and I don't know, not really why I want to read them, but just why they are on this list. Okay, let's start by the one that I have not seen a lot of people talking about it, but this cover, look at her, isn't she a beauty? But we are going to be talking about, let me see, and this is the hard part when it comes to translated works. I have to find the name in English for the book. The original title, it's called Dark Rise, and this is a series by C.S. Pacat. The reason why this book caught my attention was honestly the cover. Not only that, for a few days, few weeks, when I was going to my local bookshop, this book was kind of in their new releases and being in highlighted for the bookshop, which I quite enjoyed. But oh, we have a map. Oh, we have like a map. It's separated from the book. Oh, I like that. That is interesting. But as far as I can tell, we really don't have like a synopsis for the book. We do have a lot of flippity flops and a lot of these thingies, but we don't really have at least not that I can see, we don't have really a synopsis for the book in it. Exactly, there is really none. Although we do have a trigger warning page, but we don't have much more than that. The only thing that we have, it says, the dark is going to ascend, who will succumb and who will survive. I don't know, this book, it's mainly here because it caught my attention. The cover is one of those covers that I cannot fly away from it. I really enjoy this type of covers. Especially the ones that have this type of color scheme, they really go to my attention and they really catch my attention. This is the main reason the book is in here, but the story sounds very interesting and I cannot wait to get into it. Let me actually see, just so I can see if I'm able to find like a synopsis. Oh, it's quite a big one, but let's try and read this. The ancient world of magic is no more, its heroes are dead, its halls are ruins, and its great battles between light and dark are forgotten. Only the stewards remember, and they keep their centuries-long vigil, sworn to protect humanity if the Dark King ever returns. 16-year-old dog boy Will is on the run, pursued by the man who killed his mother when an old servant tells him of his destiny to fight beside the stewards. Will is ushered into a world of magic where he must train to play a vital role in the oncoming battle against the dark. As London is threatened by the Dark King's return, the reborn heroes and villains of a long-forgotten war begin to draw battle lines. But as the young descendants of light and dark step into their destined roles, old allegiance, old enmities, and old flames are awakened. Will must stand with the last heroes of the light to prevent the fate that destroyed their world from returning to destroy his own. Okay, I'm interested. This sounds like really up my alley. It's getting so dark in here. The book does really sound quite up my alley, which is something that makes me really interested in reading it and quite excited for it. But let's talk about the next one, because the next one, everyone knows about it. I think almost everyone and their mother has read this book. I haven't, because I have been getting a little bit away from romantasy. But in here, I'm talking about Quicksilver by Cully Hart. This book was recently translated to Portuguese, which is something that I am quite excited. Not only that, but this was not really an impulse buy. I don't get many like sprayed edges in books, but this one I got it because of the sprayed edges. They are beautiful, they are all around, they didn't left any corner behind, and honestly I have heard so many things about the book that I am expecting to really enjoy it, because this definitely sounds right up my alley and like something that I would want to read. I don't know. I don't know much about the book. As normal, this is normal for me to happen. I most often than not go in blind with the books that I read. That is just how I like to read them, because that makes things a lot more fun for me. But to be honest, in this one, I am excited. Just in big letters, it says, "Do not touch the spade or the sword. Don't turn the key and don't open the gate," which is something that makes me intrigued, makes me want to know, what is going to happen in here, why we can't do these type of things. But I'm excited. I have had friends that really enjoyed this book. I have had friends that are at the moment really awaiting for the second book to come later this year, and honestly I might just delve into it anytime soon, because at this point, why not? This is going to be one of my other priorities, because at this point I have so many. The next two books, I am going to kind of pair them together. One of them is a Japanese book, if I am not wrong. Let me just grab its original title. Okay, its original title is in Japanese, which is Mangetsu Kohiten no Oshioimi, which honestly I did very poorly in reading that. But as far as I think, it's the Full Moon Cafe or anything related on around those lines. And we are talking about this lovely book in here by Mei Mochizuki, which is, as I've said before, probably called the Full Moon Cafe in English, but in Japanese it has a different name. This is one of my priorities, mainly because I got it due to the fact that I heard Kevin from Kevin Reads It All talk really well about the book, and especially because this is something that has into account astronomy and astrological signs, which is something that I do really enjoy. And then I got it because there was two little cats on the cover, which made it much more interesting and much more appealing to me. And then the second one that I want to pair this up with, it's going to be a Korean book. So a South Korean one. Let me see. Yeah, they do provide the title in English, which is The Uncanny Convenience Store. In Portuguese is basically like the Korean store of second opportunities. This book is by Kim Ho-yeon, and I'm very excited about it because I do really enjoy Korean books, especially the ones that are a little bit more on the literary fiction, just like Welcome to the Yeonam-dang Bookshop, which was my favorite book of last year. In here, I am expecting to have something a little bit similar to Welcome to the Yeonam-dang Bookshop, but also with a mixture of the vibes from the Delegate Dream Department Store, which is a book that I really enjoyed and I really loved. In here, I know that we are going to be following a little bit of lit fiction with some hints of fantasy, but this is definitely a book that I'm really excited to read, and that it's a small book, so it's definitely one that I think I will speed through, not only on the first one but also on the second one. So these are two that I really want to prioritize because they are not that big. They probably are they probably know they really are the smallest ones that I have on this list. Next, it's one that I probably didn't see coming, which is fun, but at the same time, it's okay. It is going to be Dungeons and Dungeons and Drama by Kirsty Boyce. This is a romance. I was not expecting to have a romance into this list, but it just happened that I recently purchased this one because I have been really enjoying to play board games with my friends. I am entering, hopefully soon, my Dungeons and Dragons era, where I am going to be leading as the dungeon master some of my friends into some adventures that I am planning and trying to prepare for. But definitely this book caught my attention because of the theme of it, which is related to board games, related to Dungeons and Dragons, and I don't know, the cover is so cute. Sometimes I do miss cute covers like this one, not only the dark ones, but the very, very colorful, very happy covers that romance does tend to have, which is something that I am quite excited to read about, and definitely sounds right up my alley. I don't think that this has any smut, which is quite nice, but I will let you know once I read it, because I don't know, all of the books that I'm talking to you about are books that I'm actually have been wanting to read and like ditch my other reads for them. So I don't know, let's see how it goes, but definitely this is another one that it's on my I need to read you soon list. The next one is another one that everyone knows about. I'm sure you have heard of it, which is The Serpents and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is, if I'm not wrong, a vampire book. It has vampires and it's a romantasy also. Everyone loves this book. I think from Laura's, from the book Hermit, it was one of their favorite books of last year, which is one of the reasons I have it in my hands. Not only that, but I was doing a series and this was recommended to me by Rainy from Rainy Blue Reads, and honestly at this point I have to read this book because I haven't yet read it, and I was supposed to read it in December of last year, but life caught up to me and I was not able to fulfill everything that I wanted. But I am getting there. I am getting into reading all of the books that I have to read very slowly, not as fast as I was expecting, but at least a little bit is better than nothing, and I'm excited to read this one. I want to understand why everyone loves this book and why everyone loves Carissa Broadbent. Although, as I've said before, since I'm reading a translation, I am reading an interpretation of Carissa's words and not really her words, but that is the thing with translations, so I will have to kind of be able to separate both of them. The next book that we have is going to be The City of Brass. If I'm not wrong, I think that's the name in English, by Shannon Chakraborty. This is a book that has me very, very, very excited about it. I recently read The Stars of Steve by Chelsea Abdullah, and they talk in that book about Jean, about almost the Middle East retellings and stories, and this one does appear to me to have a very similar vibe, which I'm really excited about because I really liked The Stardust Thief and almost the Aladdin retelling that we were following there. Although I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, I have had some friends to talk about it, some DNFs, some people that really enjoyed this book, but honestly I do tend to, when I'm reading in Portuguese, to be a little bit more forgiving about stuff due to the fact that I do know that I am almost reading an interpretation of the words that the author told us originally. And not only that, but I do tend to make a lot more and to understand a lot more what is happening without getting confused a lot more. But in here I'm excited about it. This is a book that I have been wanting to read and wanting to pick up for quite some time. This is a book that I don't even remember when I purchased it, because I do remember when I purchased all of my books, but this one I do not have the recollection for it, which is okay, it happens sometimes, but I am quite enjoying it. I was reading the back blurb that we have in here, and it talks about the Cairo Street in the 18th century, which is a century that is very interesting to me. I really enjoy historical retellings. And then a little bit later it talks about the mysterious warrior Jinn and exorcisms and a mysterious gift for heal, which is interesting. I don't know, I am excited to read it. This is another one that I cannot wait to pick it up. And then the next one. I know I'm once again late to the game, but this is a very different one than all of the other ones. We are delving into a different genre in here, which is going to be thriller. I have the first lie wins in Portuguese. I have had it for quite some time now, mainly because I do really like this neon green combination with like the dark background. That is one of the reasons why I got this book, and I am excited because I really do like horror and thrillers a little bit more than I like romance, which is fine, but I haven't been picking up them as much because I do tend to stick a lot more into fantasy than any other genre, because it's the genre that I do really enjoy to read. But definitely I want to expand a little bit of my readings and a little bit more of what I read. At the moment is saying the person that it's reading 3 fantasy books at the same time, which is wow, but it's fine. Well, no, one of them is sci-fi, so it's different, you know. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. It's a thriller. It does look like something that I have read before, kind of in the lines of Stalker by I don't remember the name, Lars Kepler, which is a book that I have read before, and I really enjoyed it. And there is coming a series for this book. They are making the adaptation, which is something that I'm really excited about. And now you might hear claws just going around in my room. But yeah, I don't know, this is another book that I really want to read. I really like the cover, and I have heard some friends talking really well about the book itself. I guess this last book, so First Lie Wins, concludes our pile of TBR for the next few months for translated reads. I do not have a lot of Portuguese books that I want to read. Mainly all of my books are actually in English. I have been doing the best that I can to have them and to change a little bit of that, so when possible to purchase the books in Portuguese instead of purchasing them in English. I don't know, I am excited. I really want to read all of the books that I just shared with you all. Let me know if there is anything that you would like to see from me when it comes to these books. If you would like to see me reading them in a vlog, if that would be interesting for you, or even if you would like an update in regards of this TBR in a few months, so I can let you know how that is going. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say for today, so I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, night or evening, whatever you are in the world, and I'll see you all on my next video. Until then, bye friends!